Charizard is 5'7".
Yeah, but these Charizard are 6 feet.
Yeah.
Ash's Charizard is 5'11". These
Yeah,
are 6
I was gonna
feet.
say. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Kill A Delibird, where in the last week and a couple days since we recorded, oh boy, a lot's happened in my life. It's been great. It's been something. It's been a fucking journey. So, welcome back to the podcast where we talk about Pokemon. We recap Pokemon, and we're in the Johto Journeys. We're talking about 2 episodes a day, blah, 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 blah. I'm Kellan. I'm the one that talks a lot about Pokemon, knows a lot about Pokemon, rather. I play Pokemon. Graham doesn't. Graham, how are you?
Less manic than you. I'm doing great, Kellan.
Great.
Normal. I'm a normal type. I know
Guess what?
tackle and tail whip. What's that, Kellan?
I'm sick again.
What? You're sick every fucking episode.
I know.
I
I went home again, and I came back sick for the 3rd time in a row.
Wow. Every time.
It's not as bad as the last 2 times, but it's annoying, and I'm stuffed up.
It's just so much disease.
I mean, when you spend time with kids who spend 5 days a week with other kids, it's hard not to get sick.
Yeah, kids are these little cesspools, these little petri dishes.
Yeah, little petri dishes of germs and mucus.
You know, you could just use an antidote.
The
The inflicted poison.
My nephew sneezed on my hand this weekend, so that's probably part of it.
Well, you didn't have to lick it.
I washed my hand immediately.
It's probably fine.
I was gonna be damned if I came back again sick, but I did. To be fair to the children, my mother also had a scratchy throat, so I may have gotten something from her. But it's just interesting that 3 times in a row I have come back sick from home.
I feel
That's
like
great.
I've been sick on the podcast before too, but I feel like maybe it's just recency bias that you've been sick like a lot.
I have. Like that's not a that's just true.
Go fund me for Kellan. Let's get him through these colds.
Get me some Advil and some Tylenol and shit.
Go fund me for Advil, cold, and sinus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it'd be the store brand because it's the same thing and cheaper.
Right. Yeah. No,
So.
you're right. True.
I learned that
That's
from
a life hack.
From my pharmacist sister. Shout out to her.
Yeah, they're
all
like
the medications are
literally
the same.
thing.
They
right?
have to be
'Cause
the
it's
same
like
legally.
regulated. Yeah.
Yeah, they legally have to be the same thing, and the store brand is just cheaper. So buy the store brand, people.
Mm-hmm.
Stick it to big medicine.
Big pharma. They're so huge.
Yeah, to big Tylenol.
So you got some other life updates or something, Kellan? What'd you come in swinging about?
I've been dealing with carpet beetles, and that's been a whole fucking thing. I told you about
is
that
any of
briefly.
this about like games or shows or anything, or is this all
No,
like
God, no.
actually life shit for once?
I've been dealing with carpet beetles.
Okay.
I think I have them dealt with. I just got to put my rug back, which is a pain in the ass because I am in a tiny apartment. I am one person, and my couch is very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I got sick. I went home for a while, and I got sick. I came back and got sick, and all this time, I haven't been able to stream and stuff. And so I'm always being like, I gotta get back to streaming, but I haven't been able to stream in 2 fucking weeks. I'm hoping tomorrow, as of the day we're recording this.
Okay, so we'll get streamed
Oh, boy.
soon. I believe.
Yeah, I need to get back to the Sunkern demolishes Kanto randomizer
Ooh.
because it's quite something, honestly.
That's Fire Red, you said?
Yeah, yeah.
GBA.
Otherwise, what else has been happening? I need to put air into my bike tires, but my air pump for my car, the connector thingy is broken, so I can't plug it in.
I kind of want to be sarcastic about, are these interesting things to talk about, but I'm actually kind of riveted. It's weirdly amusing.
I got my bike back out of my aunt's garage, and
yeah.
it needed the tires to be blown up. So I pulled out my tire inflator from the trunk of my car, and I can't plug it in. The thing's broken. So I gotta figure something out.
There you go. He's getting there. Cycling.
But I got a new printer recently. That was cool.
God, these updates are killing me. They're funny, though. Did you get a new toothbrush, Kellan?
No, but I tried Mountain Dew Spark Raspberry Lemonade, and it was delicious.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, I very recently had a Mountain Dew for the first time in maybe 10 years, and I forgot that it's actually very good, so I've been trying a bunch of the other flavors.
Yeah, I haven't had Mountain Dew in a long, long time either.
It's good stuff.
Hmm.
I just don't want to fall into that gamer trope of I drink
I
Mountain
do like
Dew all the time.
Doritos a lot.
Doritos are fucking delicious.
They're
Why is
fucking
that a
delicious.
stereotype?
Yeah, I know.
Doritos are incredible. Quit ragging on people for eating Doritos. They're fucking great.
Well, I realized last night that I think I'm living in like 2002 right now. because I was playing Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance online service on the Switch, and I've been reading the Yu-Gi-Oh manga recently. So I'm just like I'm wired in to like my 12-year-oldness right now.
Yeah, and you've been playing Heart Gold.
Oh, and Heart Gold, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I talked about that already, but I'm in Kanto, so I'm plugging away
Fun.
at that. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, I gave my Quagsire an ice move to get rid of Lance's Dragonites.
Good coverage. Excellent coverage. Quagsire is a
Thank
good
you.
counter for those things, I guess. He can't be hit by the Thunder one. Blizzard, it's neutral. Fire Blast is resist. Yeah, Quagsire is a good pick
Quagsire's
for those
a good
guys.
one for that, yeah.
Quagsire is great. Love it.
And then Ampharos for like his other creatures. And there you go.
Yeah, his quote unquote dragons.
Yeah, his fake his dragons that look like dragons but aren't dragons.
I'm a dragon tamer. Go Gyarados.
It looks dragonish though in his
It looks like a
defense.
dragon,
But it is kind
and
of
it was
funny.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of those in fucking Pokemon. I'm Agatha. I'm the ghost trainer. Uses 5 poison types.
Yeah, I mean they do that when they're more like there aren't
They
that
don't
many
have
options,
Pokemon
right?
to use.
Yeah.
The biggest one is Flint in Gen 4, Elite 4 member, fire type user. Has a Rapidash, an Infernape, and then normal type Lopunny, Steel Ground Steelix, and Ghost Flying Driftblim. Because there were no fucking fire types in Sinnoh until Platinum.
Oh, okay. That makes
Literally,
sense,
Rapidash and Infernape were the only 2 fire lines in Diamond and Pearl.
For a second, I thought, oh, maybe they wanted to give him a balanced team for once, but no, they desperately wanted to go all in, they just couldn't.
It's just that the regional decks in Diamond and Pearl was ass.
There you go.
All right, we got a big thing to do today.
We got a big
probably
thing.
Get to
Let's
it.
get to it. We will get to
Yeah.
episodes, but before that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been exactly what you've been waiting for. We are going to give you Chapter 4 of The Murder of Tracey Sketchit. If you're not up to date, there's some previous podcast episodes that have them. We're on the 4th chapter now. We ended up last week following Mr. Mime's insane ramblings as he convinced himself that he had murdered Tracey Sketchit, but we found out at the end that he did not. They're in the woods, and we know a Pokemon did it. And that is sort of the evidence. And this will be the finale, so let's get to it.
Let's
The Murder
do it.
of Tracey Sketchit, Chapter 4, Justice in Prime Numbers. The sun hung hot and heavy in the sky, like a Charizard's tail during flight. To call the afternoon hot would be an understatement. It was damn hot. Blisters had a better chance of healing while up against a slugma compared to the harshness of that West Kanto afternoon sun. What would remain after the water dries and the heat passes? Justice, vengeance, or passion? Or maybe a bit of all three. Mewthree tied up his ponyta to the local hitching post and walked through the middle of a dusty old pallet town. Mewthree had one of those weeks where history is written all at once. One of those weeks where legends are made and people are forgotten. One of those weeks where Arceus either smiles or frowns, and in between the weak are told to roll over and find that they are strong. The case of Tracey Sketchit was burning in the town's collective mind. Mewthree was 2 shakes of a Sandshrew's tail from identifying the killer, but you know what they say about a Sandshrew's tail? Getting 2 shakes is just as hard as seeing one if you start with none. Luckily, Mewthree had the parts of a song he needed to make the Sandshrew dance. He just had to play them all together. Mimey was likely innocent, or at least as innocent as the rest of us. Mewthree saw him for what he was, just an obsessive circus freak who bakes a mean biscuit. Mimey had the means and the access to murder, and well, maybe even the capacity, but he lacked the motive. Tracey was about as close to Delia as a Butterfree to a Beedrill, which to the uneducated or the uninterested may sound similar, but was in any concrete resolution of truth and fact as removed as proper nouns could be from each other. If Delia ain't involved, Mimey ain't either. Heading towards the makeshift sheriff's office / laundering washateria, Mewthree laid to rest the cold meat wagon's worth of information in his head. He'd worn a lot of hats and seen a lot of things. He'd searched his past lives 10, 20 times over. He knew the Pokemon Tracey had been affiliated with as part of his information about Ash. 1, maybe 2 of Mewthree's past lives had come with his own dark obsessions, and through the darkness he learned all there was to know about Ash, Ash's companions, and especially Ash's Pokemon. There was only one Pokemon who both had motive to kill and the proximity to be able to kill. The only thing left to do was to bring the killer to justice. Jenny, the acting sheriff in these parts, sat outside the temporary Crowbar Hotel cleaning a revolver. It was a tradition among people of the law to only make clean that which could be called truly dirty. No amount of blood nor sin was enough to stain the steel glare, and no amount of passion or virtue could tip the scales in a meaningful direction, only add to the misaligned thing they called justice in this town.
That's a mighty fine gun,
Mew 3 asserted to the sheriff.
mind if I see it? Getting between a woman of justice and her means to assert such justice. Awfully bold of you, sir.
The police chief replied.
Take a look. Tough as an onyx and fierce as a scyther. A fine weapon. Look, Jennifer. May I call you Jenny? Look, Jenny. I think I know who killed Tracy. It's all written there against the sand. We just have to follow where the blood flows. You think you know? Does knowledge count as justice in this lazy backwater town? You think the Sparrow cares what the canopy thinks? You three. Your ways of law and lack of following the established rules make you a thing of the past. Times are changing. Justice doesn't belong to the Lone Ranger. You might as well be an Aerodactyl with your fossilized view. You think you know who killed Tracey Sketchit? I figured it out an hour ago. I was waiting for you to finish up your desperado interrogation so I could take him in myself. Well, speak of the devil, there the sinner goes now.
It was Mimey. Depraved and demonic, all 6s and 7s, less sense than Chuckwagon Chicken. The sheriff's suspect strode along the dusty path behind them and up out of town. He was innocent, but he looked guilty. Pokedex be damned, you'd think he was a fire type with all the hot air he was blowing. Stressed and de-stressed, Dahlia's housekeeper moved like a horde of raging toros. And if you had half a walnut as a mind or a brain when toros rage in your direction, you get out of the way.
This ends today.
Jenny grunted to Mew 3.
I'll tail him from a distance and get that confession. I'll always make them talk. This time is no different. Just stay out of my way.
Mew 3 tried to interject as the law lady started moving.
Mom is innocent. I know who really did it. You didn't let me finish.
Jenny strode off defiantly. If Arceus was watching, even he would avert his eyes. Only devils played horseshoes today. Mew 3 kept up with her despite her warnings. He knew what he knew, and knowledge might as well be pork chops to a Voltorb if action isn't taken. Mr. Mime kept walking right out of Pallet Town and let the cop and the cowboy into a nearby forest. Signs of struggle were present in the underbrush.
He's leading us back to the scene of his crime.
Jenny whispered, apparently complacent with Mew 3's existence now.
Guilty is as guilty does, I always say. I'm making the arrest.
She jumped out of the bushes, pointed her gun at Mr. Mime and screamed.
Put your hands where we can see them. You're under arrest for the murder of one Tracy Sketchit. Mime.
The mime yells in surprise as he turns around.
Mime. Mime, mime, mime.
Mew 3 alone knows what he is saying, but only in sound and intent alone. The purpose of his words blow away in the wind. Nonsense is as nonsense sounds, and there was absolutely no sense in Mr. Mime's words, even to one as well-versed in Pokemon language as Mew 3.
Oh my, you're speaking Pharaoh to a Pikachu. I know you're innocent.
Mew 3 proclaimed to Jenny's dismay.
You aren't the only Pokemon to return to the scene of the crime. There's the real devil now.
Mew 3 brandished his own iron hand cannon as the tree behind Mime gave way to the real monster. Pidgeot perched on the tree to Mr. Mime's back. The mighty bird took sight of the scene. Harsh eyes like used coal condemned each and every one of them to the inconsequentialism of the eternal struggle they were all engaged in. Only time would tell whom be the predators and whom be the prey.
That's the bandit, Jenny. I swear to you, that infernal bird took Tracey Sketchit's life as she took his eyes. Claimed the prize and ran, and Tracy would run no more. Turn yourself in before this gets messy.
Mew 3 points his gun at the menacing bird.
Leave me to my woods in misery!
Pidgeot's cries get translated in Mew 3's mind.
I took his life to ease my pain, but the wounds still remain. Do you know what it feels like to be abandoned? Do you freaks of nature, heretics of Arceus and defilers of Mew, know what it is like to thrive and grow, only to be thrown away like the Growlithe's breakfast? I do. I always will. Krrr, krrr.
Jenny looked bewildered but confident during Pidgeot's confession. To her, the scene appeared like this. A guilty mime stood at the scene of the crime, while a hysterical bird cooed and cawed into the great abyss. A vigilante mutant desperado stood to her left, brandishing a poorly kept firearm, pointed and waving at the oversized crow. Jenny alone wore justice as a cloak, dust and sun in her eyes and hair, the world falling apart around her like it tends to do to every person on the side of truth and righteousness. her trusty iron in hand, the barrel of her gun directing all of her stubborn intent into the heart of the guilty.
Ha! Ha!
The wild bird's cryptic confession continued.
I said he would come back for me. He said my exodus was temporary. After all we went through, his words meant something. They had weight, like a golden coin or a hearty breakfast. His words were something that could sustain a person or a bird. I waited in the woods for him to return, and one day he does. Only he keeps going. He had forgotten about me. He walks on past my woods like I don't exist. And who does he have with him now but that crafty artist, Tracey Sketchit? His face burned into my memory like a fire spin. I couldn't forget the bandit that replaced me. Tracey. He wormed his way into the gang and took my place. Hellfire! He must have convinced Ash to abandon me. Grrr, grrr. I laid low for a while, tending to my metaphorical wounds. 3 days ago, Tracey appeared in my woods, bold and brazen. He was sketching a nest of mine. The arrogance of that man to replace me and to use me, to put my offspring to paper like he was entitled to it. I snapped, flying at him. I took his eyes as my treasure and put an end to his miserable life. If time reversed and he was back here right now, I would do it again. I regret nothing.
Jenny, Pidgeot just confessed. Stop pointing at Mr. Mime and let's bring in the bird.
You call that a confession? That was just a bunch of bird babbling. I'll say who's guilty and who isn't, and this mom here is standing guilty as they come. Come with us, Mr. Mime. If you won't move, I'm gonna shoot. And there isn't a barrier on the planet that can reflect my hot lead.
Jenny, stop. I swear the bird confessed. Mama is innocent. I'm not gonna stand here and let an innocent Pokemon die because of your ego.
Mew3 turned his gun to face Jesse and stood between the sheriff and the mime. Giving his back to both of the accused was a fatal mistake in any normal circumstance, but normality went out the window along with the neighborhood. Mew3 on the side of desperate truth, Jenny on the side of stubborn justice, and a mime and a bird pushed out of society and into the chaos of the West. Pidgeot made the first move, swooping down like a bullet shot from a smoking gun. Mew3 had a backup gun hanging from his belt. Or at least it was a backup gun, but now hanging from Pidgeot's talon, the only backing up it was doing was backing Mew3 into a bad situation. 3 gunslingers, equally distant, in physical space and in moral disposition, with 3 guns. They say aces are high, but in this deadliest of card games, 3 of hearts is the trump card. Jenny's brow furrowed in sweat and focus, revolver ready. Words were over, only bullets remained. Pidgeot hovered low, the minute derringer a surprisingly proper fit for her talons. Muzzle loading, it was kill or be killed for the burr of prey. A single bullet worth of fear, loathing, and vengeance ready to finalize the seed. Mew3's single action peacemaker was ready to tarnish its name in violent hypocrisy, ready to rain down pain and vengeance for the fallen artist. Even the most prudent of observers would not be able to predict who would fire first. Could the lightning reflexes of a falcon overcome the sharp eyes of our mutant vigilante? Or would the trained trigger finger of the lawwoman blast them both down before they could blink? Eternity hung in the moment, and the moment fell beyond what a moment is supposed to be. Fleeting. A moment that hangs like laundry out to dry. All the blood and sweat of conviction and vengeance suspended. Prepared for absolution isn't a moment at all, but 3 lifetimes worth of pain and suffering exposed in front of Arceus himself for ultimate judgment. Bang! A single shot fires and ricochets into the trees. Pidgeot drops their gun and bolts into the forest shadows. Smoke drifts from Mew3's gun. Mr. Mime's hands are in the air, the outline of a blue barrier just barely visible where Pidgeot used to be.
Mime!
Cries the mime, breaking the tension.
You took out my ammo!
Jenny cries.
When did you take my ammo?
Back at the jailhouse when I inspected your gun.
Mew3 replies.
That's insane! I'm on the side of justice, and who are you to say who is guilty and who goes free?
Jenny retorts.
You see, Jenny, there are 2 types of people in this world, those with loaded guns and those who dig. You dig.
Mew3 lowers his gun and walks away, heading towards the setting sun.
Dig what?
Jenny cries.
Pidgeot got away. I've had enough of this lousy town. I'm out of here. Pilot can clean up their own mess. Was Tracey ever even actually dead? This is bullshit. I'm a top member of the Celadon PD. I'm heading back to where being an officer means something.
Mew3 continues walking down the path, oblivious to Jenny's dismissive words. He got the confession. Sure, the killer got away, but an innocent mime and an equally innocent professor got to keep their freedom intact. Would he see Pidgeot again? Time would tell, for the sun was setting on Pallet Town, and nothing good is ever said in the dark. For now, Mew3 could mosey along, content in spirit and purpose, for the story of the murder of Tracey Sketchit had finally come to an end. Ooh, we did it.
I'm clapping if you can't hear that.
Yeah, I can't.
Good old Discord noise gate.
Yeah.
Well, we did it. I have 4 thoughts.
Okay.
Leaving that. First of all, after that long Pidgeot paragraph, I am slightly lightheaded.
Yeah, that was
hard.
crazy. Good job on the voices, Kellan.
2, I really hope my neighbors didn't hear me doing Pidgeot.
Phone the cops.
Yeah.
Or just be like, man, he's into some far freakier shit than we thought he was.
He never leaves his apartment. What the fuck's going on in there? 3, I don't remember what point 3 was. And
You
4, and 4, only devils played horseshoes today is a wild fucking sentence.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun writing this part 4 especially
I could tell.
because westerns just lend themselves to metaphors and similes like nothing else.
Seriously, that sentence goes fucking hard, and I love it.
That's a cool sentence.
It's
True.
great.
True.
Oh man. Well, it was Pidgeot, folks.
It was
Who would've
Pidgeot
seen that
all
coming?
along. Was that on your bingo card? Cash it in. You get nothing. But
Yeah,
we're proud of you
congratulations.
if you did.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some Pokemon.
Yeah, I really
Shall
want to
we?
get into the episode. So
Oh, these are some great episodes.
that's the funny thing is these are fun episodes. Last week we got to the gym battle, and so that was a high for finally seeing some plot. Now this week there's a little bit of plot, but even despite there not being like too much overarching plot, they're very creative episodes. They're very immersive too, both of them.
Well, there is one pretty
There's one
big
pretty
plot
big plot
point,
thing.
yeah. But today we're looking at episode 135, Tanks a Lot, or in Japanese, Rampage, Otachi, and Togepi, followed by episode 136, Charizard's Burning Ambitions, or The Valley of Lizardon, until we meet again. So let's jump into Tanks a Lot, which is a very fun episode. So the gang is resting.
This is a Saturday morning cartoon through and through.
Oh,
Like
it's
you
great.
can tell there's episodes where Pokemon is an anime and episodes where Pokemon is Looney Tunes, and this is an episode where Pokemon is Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm. So the gang's resting up, having a nap. They're very tired. Pikachu yawns, covers his
So
eyes.
cute napping.
Very cute. Togepi just wants someone to play with. She's poking at Pikachu and then gets very upset when he doesn't wake up. So she goes to sleep too.
And Togepi like becomes an egg when she goes to sleep.
Yeah.
So cute.
But there's this little brown guy watching on. Oh, what's this? It's a Sentret.
Right. So describe Sentrets to me. They're ferrets? No, what are they?
They evolve into ferrets. They're kind of ferret-ish.
Yeah, okay. They've got long ferrety tails, but they're sort of raccoony looking. I don't know.
Kind of like meerkats.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, Tanuki I think is the closest comparison.
Oh, they're tanukis, so they're like mythological raccoons.
Except for the fact that it doesn't have giant testicles.
Yeah, they left that out of the Super Mario Brothers 3 Tanuki suit.
Unfortunately.
Imagine Mario just gets weighed down by his big balls.
But no, Sentret, very cute little guy. I love him.
Yeah,
He
no,
stands up on
he's
his
very
tail.
Cute. Yeah, and
Very
that's one of the
cute.
things. Stands up on the tail so that they can see far away, and that's sort of where the Sentret names comes from. Is that they're sentries for like the other Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. And this whole thing up like standing on its tail, we get it in the episode. It is in the Dex. That is basically its entire design inspiration, I guess,
Right.
so to say. But we got Sentret watching on as they rest. Then we see like I think a different Sentret going to his friends for something or something.
Yeah, the Sentret
being, like-
runs, and they're all kind of talking. Is
Some
it a
shit's going on.
family, clan, whatever? One of the Sentrets is missing, it kind of seems.
Yeah. And so, meanwhile, go to Team Rocket for a bit. They're driving along in a giant fucking Arbok tank.
Yeah, so this is one of those episodes where Giovanni gave them a budget, right? Sometimes they just dig a hole. Sometimes they have state-of-the-art technology that the military wishes they had.
Yeah, really. I think an Arbok tank would be great in any modern day international kerfuffle, to put it.
I hope it would
lightly.
bring peace just from the absurdity of it. Everyone would
Yeah.
stop and contemplate on what really matters in life and then, hug.
But James is upset because he thinks Weezing would have been a better choice for a tank. To which I say,
of course.
No, James. Arbok is the choice here. Come on.
Yeah, speaking of big testicles, what would Weezing look like as it goes along?
It would just be like
Is
Weezing
Arbok the shaft and Weezing the balls?
Oh my god.
Is that the real Team Rocket?
And you thought I was gross for bringing up the victory or the Onyx Cloister thing.
We take turns.
Oh yeah, do we? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, just wait till next week when we hit
Because
episode 69. right.
Yeah, you can be gross next week.
Yeah. So, I disagree. Weezing wouldn't make any sense. The whole idea is that, Arbok slithers along kind of like a tank. So,
Yeah. And
obvious.
he looks more menacing.
Yeah. They spot the gang, though. They're like, okay, if we can finally get Pikachu, they're asleep. We can get the Pokemon. And Meowth's like, I just wish they added the pepperoni pizza with extra anchovies. Meowth, what the fuck?
So they park the tank because they're going to sneak up on the sleeping gang, and they're like, the tank will just be our getaway car. We didn't really even need a tank because they're asleep. We'll just go snatch Pikachu and run. So they stop the tank so that they don't wake them up.
But Togepi wakes up. She's a light sleeper, I guess. And she sees Sentret. And she's got a friend to play with now, and they're so happy.
Mhm.
Oh my god, it's adorable.
So they're rolling around at the speed of sound.
Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. I think
like
it's
how-
2 episodes in a row. We've
It's
referenced
2
City
episodes in a
Escape.
row because if I say that, you'll just sing that.
Yep.
it's like your sleeper agent word, right? You're like
Can't sleep
dormant.
around, got to keep moving on. Guess what lies ahead? Only one way to find out.
Oh my god, that would be the best sleeper agent wake up ever. If somebody says rolling around at the speed of sound, you just become
Woo!
like a full on Sonic simp.
So, they're rolling down the hill at the speed of sound, as we put it, and they go right into Team Rocket's tank.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
and that's the big conflict of the episode.
Togepi jumps on a lever, and they take off. Uh-oh.
Now, Team Rocket, not noticing this, they're going to snatch Pikachu. They say Pikachu's in for a rude awakening, and they love any plan that involves rudeness, right? So they're conducting that.
James forgot the parking brake, though. Jesse berates him
right.
about that a little bit.
Right, so Team Rocket's doing that, and then the tank goes zooming by.
Togepi and Sentret are having an absolute blast.
Yeah, they're just having a party in this thing.
Yeah, they're just jumping around, happy. Togepi. Misty wakes up, though, finally. Notices Togepi's missing, and then suddenly a Sentret wakes up Ash. Brock wakes up, too. Everyone's awake now. And then Sentret holds up the apple core that shows them Sentret was missing. And they're like, what are they trying to tell us? And Ash is like, an apple a day keeps the Chansey away?
I do like these kind of, not that that's a particularly funny joke, but I like when they take common sayings but insert Pokemon into them. That works for me. It's like immersive, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what they say in the Pokemon world.
Yeah,
it only
exactly,
makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
So and then they bring up fucking Minnesota. So I mean,
in the movie. That's in the movie.
Still canon.
Yeah. Minnesota's canon.
So Brock's figured it out. He thinks that the Sentret is looking for something that it lost, and then suddenly, boom, big thud.
Mm-hmm.
And Sentret raises up on its tail, like the Pokedex tells us that it does, to see what's happening, and it runs
Sentret,
off.
use your L5s. The tank's
And the gang
nearby.
follows it.
Yeah.
Also to note, the Dex says that Sentret screams really loudly to warn other Pokemon of danger.
Right,
Which
so
I'll come back.
I don't remember what animals do this in real life, but I feel like I've seen this in some animated TV show, like where the forest is being attacked, so then all the animals like warn each other. Like Princess Mononoke or Ferngully or something.
Well, I feel like any animal could do it, because, I mean, you hear something screaming, it's probably not good.
Right.
So.
Except to the cats. They're like, yes.
Yeah. They just scream about everything. You haven't fed me in 2
favorite.
hours.
Oh my god, yeah. My cats are drama queens. Oh.
You've never fed me any
I have
time in my
never
life.
eaten before, ever.
Ah!
Yeah, that's exactly.
I've never seen outside. I want to go outside. I want to go back inside now.
Yeah. The moment, like, my cats are indoor cats, but when they do get outside, they take like 3 steps and then just fall over. They're
Nope.
like overstimulated.
Same.
Yeah, vibes.
The sun. I don't like the sun. It's too bright. Someone needs
too
to
much
turn it
vitamin
down.
D, overdosing.
So the tank is still going. It's bumping into the mountainsides. Bang, bang, bang. Togepi and Sentret still loving it. Team Rocket are chasing it, and then a bunch of Sentret come in chasing it as well. They nearly get run over.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. And James laments that they spent all of their money to build this thing, so they can't break it. And Jesse and Meowth like, what? You did what? And then
they're
they talk
offended.
about how they changed their lifestyle to save money for these things. Meowth switched from deluxe special cat food to the generic brand. Oh no.
Mhm. James only ate crappy candy.
Dropped the fancy bonbons, as he said, to hard sucker candy. And Jessie gave up more than everybody. She only orders caviar sometimes and has one dessert per meal.
Yeah. Big sacrifice.
Yeah. So the gang and Team Rocket, as they're running, chasing the tank, they meet up. They're like, "Oh, with you again, you fucks." Meowth tells them that Togepi and Sentret are in the tank, and so the gang
there's a real
jump into
good
action.
exchange here that I liked anyways. Ash goes to the tank. He says, "That's an ugly thing." And Meowth goes, "Hey, it resembles a Pokemon colleague of mine." That's funny to think of them as colleagues.
Co-workers, yeah.
Yeah.
So Brock sends out Onyx. They all, the gang hops on.
The gang riding Onyx is actually kind of cool looking.
Very cool, yeah. Except for when Onyx is like farther in the background, because all the animation is a still JPEG moving to the left.
Yes. Well,
Budget!
still cool.
So, but yeah, no, riding Onyx as a concept is fantastic.
Yeah, as a concept.
Love to see it. They should do that more often. It would get them to Violet City much faster.
Yeah, why do they not use their Pokemon as transportation?
Because they're fucking stupid.
Like Charizard, Onyx.
I mean, yeah.
I guess that's it.
The only ones that are big enough.
They're big enough to ride.
Yeah, they could have ridden Pidgeot, but no. Ash ditched her and she murdered someone. So
Yeah. He should be accountable.
you really should. Yeah.
He trained that thing.
So yeah, they're chasing the tank on Onyx. The tank is drilling through rocks, punching it down with boxing gloves. Sentret and Togepi cheer. They're really happy about this.
They love the destruction. Woohoo!
And the gang have got ahead of it now. And so now we're going to get Brock's plan in the form of a military plan with the maps and the army outfits and everything. Pikachu and Sentret are in little army hats. Oh my god.
Their outfits all around in the sequence are awesome. Like full
Wonderful.
camo fatigues, like helmets. They look great. And Brock is doing that sort of like General Patton thing where he's got like the stick and he's hitting the map and here is the plan. You know?
Yeah. But like Pikachu in an army hat and he's got like overalls or like some kind of straps around him.
Yeah.
God, it's adorable.
It is adorable.
So the plan, Brock's plan, is for Onyx is going to dig a really big hole. And we're going to fill that hole with dirt and rocks and stuff. And we're going to use the water Pokemon, turn it into mud, which will, the Arbo tank will fall into it and get stuck, and we can grab the Pokemon, and then we're good.
Well, he says, a few good Pokemon will enter the tank, which I think is a reference to a few good men.
Yeah, they talk about like how this part is like the really dangerous one, but
Right.
I feel like it's probably not that dangerous, but whatever. So their plan is in action. Onyx digs up the hole. The water Pokemon go to fill it up, except for Psyduck, who just kind of swims around.
So Misty gives him a dishonorable discharge from the military.
Oh no, Psyduck.
Give us your dog tags.
Psyduck just wants to protect and serve his country.
Protect and surf.
Ha ha ha. So as the tank approaches, Togepi and Sentret inside, still just having a total blast. Having a party, having fun. Sentret hits the lever, makes the tank go even faster. Like every kid on their bike. Let's go faster.
Yeah.
The tank falls in the mud. Ash and Pikachu go to climb into the tank. But Sentret is caught up all in the cables. And upon seeing his friend, the other Sentret, who is with the gang, he swings around a bunch, causing the wires to spark up and gets the tank moving again. It stands up upright, gets out of the hole. Pikachu falls in.
Yeah, so Pikachu falls into the tank. So Pikachu is on the tank now. The tank had kind of missiled its way out of the water. And Psyduck is just swimming still.
Yep.
Like he's like, whatever.
Hi. Aye.
Misty says, oh, what are we gonna do? And we got Team Rocket. Sit back and enjoy the show. We've got something prepared you won't believe. What's doubly deceiving is up our sleeve. And they're dressed as magicians for their motto this time.
I do love their outfits. Cool outfits.
Wonderful outfits. Yep.
They're not necessarily gender swapped like usual, though, are
No,
they?
they're just magicians.
They're just magicians, yeah. And I think James is pulling Pidgeys from hats.
Yeah. There wasn't a dove Pokemon yet. I don't think so. I don't even think there is a dove Pokemon.
Or are you going to check now? Is there a dove Pokemon?
There is no dove Pokemon. There is a Pokemon called Pidove, but it's a pigeon.
Ah, not a dove.
So, yeah. Interesting.
A pigeon crossed with a dove?
No, not really. It's very pigeon-like.
So, what is the Team Rocket magician's trick here? What's
well,
the
they're pulling a
magic,
David
Kellan?
Copperfield. They're going to make this giant
I knew you were
going to
reference him,
Yeah.
because we've talked about that before.
Yep. And I'm nothing if I don't recycle jokes.
I mean, a person can only be so many things, right?
Really,
How many
really
memories
can.
can a person have?
Like 6.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Science.
So they're going to make this thing disappear, and they look over, and whoop, the Arbo tank vanishes. What a trick. And so the gang goes there to where it was, and it's just in a giant fucking hole.
Not magic, it's a hole. They dig those all the time. And this is where Team Rocket gets defensive after this being pointed out that they dig these all the time. Team Rocket now, with their second disguise of the episode, are like old geezers. Kind of. They've got like
Wonderful.
They've got like long beards on, and they're all doing these like geezer voices. I don't know what else to call it except for that. And they're like, well, Sonny, this is a custom hole.
Yeah, they talk about how they surveyed the site to make sure it was good for hole digging. They made the calculations and then dug the hole with their own hands.
I think this is like a satire of like the old master artisan who, has like been crafting this loaf of bread carefully. The recipes comes down for centuries.
Yeah.
We pick only the finest ingredients kind of thing.
And they give us a nice big paragraph that I wrote down because I liked it.
Okay.
Nobody can get themselves into a hole better than Team Rocket can. It's our specialty. When we dig with brio. We're a great trio, as they're dressed up as a Doug trio.
They just become a Doug trio.
Beautiful.
Team Rocket as a Doug trio goes kind of hard.
Now, I don't know what they rhymed with trio. I wrote down brio. That's what I heard, but I don't know.
That's what I wrote down too. But I also had a moment. That's funny, Kellan, because I thought we would both collectively just assume we understood that. And I sort of do, but I'm also like, what does that mean?
Okay. According to Merriam-Webster, good old Miriam, gotta ask Miriam. Miriam says that brio means enthusiastic vigor.
There you go.
So I think that is what they said.
Well,
Cool.
it was the kind of word where I'm like, given the context and the feel of it, I'm pretty sure I know what this means, but
Yeah.
I'm not confident enough that I would ever use it.
Yeah, but I've never heard it, so I wouldn't have
Yeah.
any idea that this is a word that exists. So
And it just reminds me of bread. What am I thinking of?
Yeah.
Brioche?
brioche, yeah. But they're seriously, they're dressed up as Doug Trio, and it's incredible. It's the best costume they've ever done so far.
Oh, number 1, Doug Trio.
And then Misty says what we're all thinking, okay, this is getting weird.
Yeah, really weird.
So Meowth jumps into the tank now, and to see all of the Pokemon caught up in cables, all 3 of them.
I'm in charge, she says.
Pikachu instinctively sees Meowth, bolts him, which is enough to short-circuit the tank, and it launches into spring mode, hopping out of the giant hole and down the path.
Yeah, this was a Robotnik contraption if I've ever seen one.
What in the hell?
It must be springtime, Team Rocket says.
It's the Sentret, foreshadowing from the beginning of the episode. Sentret goes to warn the other Pokemon by screaming over the canyon.
Yeah, and this is the Princess Mononoke part kind of now, where the animals are kind of all telling each other of the danger.
Now, I know I note this a lot, but Sentret, again, is really one of those Pokemon in this episode that you can really just hear the voice actor. Like,
Okay.
I can see the woman in the studio just going, Sentret, 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 Sentret. And just, like, there's no animal in that voice to me.
It's the kind of thing where, yeah, I sort of felt that too. But I think that if I hadn't done this podcast, I wouldn't have felt that. I've heard you talk about this now, and I do kind of imagine that now. I'm like, how'd they make that? And then I just like see a person saying it.
But like a lot of them
don't do that. Like Arbok, I love Arbok's cry.
That's
Like,
true.
Back. Like, that's great. That's fantastic. But
Mhm.
Sentret is just a woman going, Sentret, Sentret.
And even Pikachu.
Yeah, but Pikachu is really cute, so it
Pikachu's
works.
immersive. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't think of a person when I hear Pikachu.
No. Sentret doesn't do it
Sentret.
for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sentret. So hops out of the hole. Sentret warns all the other Pokemon who start running away. But we're back in the tank. Sentret just sees Meowth as a new friend to play with. He like pulls at Meowth's face. He's like, "Let's play. Let's do this. That's great." And the tank is headed straight for a rock wall, which if it hits it, it'll get destroyed. And so the gang and Team Rocket are freaking out. And Togepi! But Togepi's waggling her fingers.
And you know what that means.
Kaboom! Explosion. And suddenly the tank is gone, and there's a giant hole in the mountain.
What happened here?
And as the humans look on, Pikachu is in the shot with the humans.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be in the tank. What the hell?
Oh, so he hasn't got out yet. This was a mistake?
No, that's a mistake.
Oh.
He's just standing with them, and he's in the tank. There's 2 Pikachu in this
Oh,
episode.
they just like reused a shot from
Yeah.
before and forgot to white out a Pikachu.
Yep. And so we're back to the army tent.
Yeah, we're getting a rebriefing. We need an update. They're calling an audible. Team Rocket is in charge of the plan. What's this?
They've joined the troops.
Mhm.
We had to replace
This is
Pikachu's
their
cute
third
thing.
outfit this episode.
They love fashion, Graham.
No, I'm not hating. I like it.
Do you not have 3 outfits planned for every day?
I barely have 3 for a week. No, I'm just kidding.
Same.
I change every day, but
I wear a lot of pajama pants.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I don't have much reason to not. So so the tank is headed straight for a town, and his plan is to use Charizard. Go ahead, stop the tank, hold against the tank long enough to get the Pokemon out, and then destroy the tank. Team Rocket are like, "Don't destroy the tank. That cost us a lot of money, little Missy." And Misty just screams at them. He's like,
We're gonna destroy it if we want to, and my name's Misty!
That's a good one.
And so Charizard goes ahead as the others are riding on Onix again. The tank emerges from the other side of the cave, headed straight for the city. Charizard lands ahead of it, and Meowth tries to pull a lever to break the thing, but the lever
Snaps.
breaks,
Yeah.
and it just sets off all of the onboard weapons and gadgets, including pincers, a Pidgey alarm clock, and fireworks.
Yeah, these are good. Yeah, so the tank's just going haywire with these absurd add-ons that they got from some mail order service.
Yep. Charizard is able to hold the tank back, but not for long. It's pushing against him, and they release. As he stops it, it creates enough force to let the Pokemon fall out of the cables, so they're fine. He stops it. The tank pushes back against him. Sentret then rolls ahead. He's going to help Charizard push it back. I don't think that's going to do much, though, little buddy.
It's the thought that
Pikachu.
counts.
Yeah. Pikachu bolts the onboard equipment, and there's some really kick-ass music in the background.
Yeah, I know
really
that
like
that
this
too. Do
one.
you know what song this is? 'Cause
I have
it was
no
working.
idea.
I'm not sure either, though.
No clue.
So just like
Um,
energetic rock music again, but some nice synth.
I think it's just something they made for the episode that maybe we'll hear in the future still. I don't think it's a remix of a main theme. But Onix grabs the tail of the tank. Charizard melts the window. Pikachu, Togepi, and Sentret jump out. Jesse and James jump in. They're like, we're not losing this money. We got to save this tank. And it blows the fuck up, and they go blasting off again.
A tankless job, but somebody has to do it.
Now, I got a question here from Alex, who asks, if you had to take on a runaway tank, which Pokemon would you use to stop it?
Okay, there's got to be something that could just stop it, like disable it or something.
And what type of Pokemon-themed tank would you least like to stop? I don't know how to have an opinion about that, honestly.
I mean, I think lots of, to reverse the question, I think lots of Pokemon tanks would go pretty hard, right?
Yeah.
Like a Blastoise tank is kind of an obvious one, I feel. That would be pretty cool. So, least like to tank is at least tank that I would least like to stop. I guess that's a question of like how scary the tank would be, how hard it would be to stop. Is that sort of where we're going?
I guess.
Or how disturbing the Pokemon would be as a tank?
Well, I'm pretty sure there is like a tank Pokemon. What is it? I know there's one.
I'm not that surprised. Yeah,
I mean, Revavroom is a car.
right.
I know there's one. Is there not? Just
Oh no, I'm just getting. I googled tank Pokemon, and I'm just getting like, what good are Pokemon for tanks?
Yeah, I also googled that. I'm not seeing anything.
Son of a bitch. What is it? What Pokemon is it? But in terms of what Pokemon would I use to stop a tank, I think the heaviest Pokemon would be the best idea. So Primal Groudon, I'll go with.
That's the heaviest Pokemon, not a
Tied
whale
tied
lord?
with Celesteela and Cosmoem
I
at
don't know what any of those are.
2,204 pounds.
Huh.
Now, ironically, Wailord is not that heavy. I think the
Oh,
math
slim
works
little
out
guy.
that Wailord is less dense than air.
Hmm.
It's 47 point or
Oh, because
47.
it's so large, but it's not that dense. Okay, got
Yeah, it's 47 foot 7 inches long and only 877 pounds.
it. Okay, I see.
So
Well, I was kind of going a different route. If there's something that could either just disable the tank for me, so some kind of psychic, one like maybe like an Alakazam could like stop it in its tracks, or something that could like teleport me into the tank and we could like stop it from the inside, teleport out. So that's what I was more thinking. So maybe an Alakazam.
yeah, but that tank's still gonna destroy the town if you just teleport out of it.
Teleport in and shut it down in this situation. Only teleport in if we've got some way to stop
They
it
tried
from
to
the inside.
teleport in, or they tried to stop it, and it did not work.
Yeah. Well, this is a more realistic. I got the keys in this one. Maybe we teleport in.
This is my
or
tank.
maybe we teleport the tank to the bottom of the ocean.
There you go. That's probably going to disturb some deep sea marine life.
You can't win them all. Well, this is the plot of the new Godzilla movie, because that's what it unearths.
A giant Arbo tank. I cannot find a tank. What am I thinking of? Like Aggron, maybe? I don't know.
I think a mill tank. It's in the name.
There you go. That's it. Yeah. Could have sworn there was like a straight up tank Pokemon. Oh, Octillery's beta was a tank. That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Octillery is what?
It's an octopus.
Ah.
It and Remoraide's beta designs were based off a gun and a tank, and then they got kind of reworked.
They got turned into more animalistic forms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which when the betas make a lot more sense in terms of the evolutionary line's aesthetic. It's more cohesive because Remoraide's a little green fish guy, and then Octillery's a red octopus, and it doesn't make much sense, but the betas make more sense. Anyway, tanks, baby.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's us on tanks. This is kind of funny that we've said tanks so much this episode when I've had whole, run-ons about what are my favorite tanks again? The T-34 Panzer. No, the T-34 Scout tank and the M Panzer tank, medium Panzer tank.
Wasn't there like a Dragoon in there somewhere?
No.
Or am I making that up? I don't know.
You're thinking of Panzer Dragoon. There's Panzer in there. And for some reason, Japan really likes the word Panzer.
It's a good word.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, back to the episode. Everyone's okay now. Day is saved. Misty tells Togepi she can't drive until she's 18. Pretty cute.
Yeah.
And then Sentret's presumed
I think
mother
he's saying
or
the
father.
same thing.
Yeah, I
to
think
the
so.
Sentret. Your license is revoked.
Jenny approaches them. The gang thinks they're in trouble. She's like, are you the ones that drilled this big hole in the mountain? And they're like, uh-oh, yeah. And she's like, thank God. We've been waiting for something like that. We have to go all the way around the mountain if we want to get to Violet City. Now we have a shortcut. Thank you.
So Team Rocket had some success by accident.
Yep.
They brought a roadway to the town.
And that's the episode.
All right, so a literary hour. This is the trope of the runaway train sort of trope. There is a screenplay of something called Runaway Train from 1967 that then became a 1985 movie. There's also a classic movie called The Bullet Train in 1975. Of course, I was thinking of the movie Speed, where they have to stop the runaway bus.
The bus
because if
that
it
couldn't
goes-
slow down.
Yeah, because if it slows down, the bomb will go off. It will blow up. There's also been real life runaway trains. But yeah, I think Speed is the best example. And then if I need to say a book, there is a subplot with a runaway train that's like this in The Dark Tower by Stephen King. Runaway train sort of trope, definitely throughout novels. So, but seeing that in movies that this only goes back to 1967 is kind of surprising. I would think it's far older. Because isn't this just like, I don't know, kind of a basic trope, a runaway train?
Yes.
It feels
I wanna
basic,
say.
right?
Yeah. That's
according to TV trope. I
yeah.
feel like someone might be able to think of something older.
I was thinking of one of the first movies ever, but no, it was a train heist. That was
Yes.
what I'm thinking of
Yeah.
there. But yeah, no, it's pretty common. All you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
Wait, what is that? What are you quoting?
It's GTA.
Oh, CJ.
It's like a
gotcha.
it's a very
San
famous
Andreas.
line.
San
Yeah.
Andreas. Gotcha.
Very iconic meme line. Anyway, should we rate this episode?
Yeah, so this is the plastic ping pong pitcher of objective rankings known as the 4-pour. We're going to pull 2 categories at it from random and rank the episode based on those categories. What do we got first, Kellan?
Well, we got some orders of business to take care of first before we get into the actual ranking. First of all, we have reworked category. We are taking the breaking gender norms category out. We're replacing it with something a little more broad and less serious because we like making jokes. So we've taken that, and it'll be under the umbrella of the subversion immersion category, where we will just rate anything that is subverting anything in the episode.
Tropes, stereotypes, etc.
Exactly. And then there are a couple others I want to bring up to pitch as new categories. I feel like we should have one that just relates to all of the other Pokemon, because we have one for silly Pikachu moments, but all the other Pokemon do some silly ass shit too.
Okay, so what are you thinking?
Well, I don't know I don't really have a name yet, but something about the
silly
others.
ass shit.
The other Pokemon silly ass shit.
Pokemon
I don't have a name.
antics in general.
Yeah, pitch us names in the comments, and we'll pick something out, hopefully. And if not, well, we'll come up with something bad. The other one...
Supporting satire. Supporting silliness. Pokemon Pandemonia. Pokemon Panic.
The other one I want to bring up, ironically, didn't happen in these episodes, but we see a lot of sunsets, right?
So many
in this episode, in this show. Actually, no, we do see one in the next episode. It's not at the end though. I want to create a category that is just: is there a sunset?
Okay, binary indicator.
If it's
sunset, yes or no.
2, 3 actually. 0 if there are no sunsets in the episode. 10 if the sunset is at the end of the episode. And 5 if there is a sunset, but it's not at the end of the episode.
Okay, so this is like a dice roll.
Pretty much.
Okay, sure.
All right, that one doesn't need a proper name. I'll write it as: is there a sunset? Oh no, wait. Sunset Boulevard.
Okay, there you go.
All right, so that's 2 categories going in, one needing a proper name. And just to reset what's in the 4-pour for anybody new joining us, real quickly, the categories currently in the 4-pour are plot, humor, animation, soundtrack, anime mom energy, furry bait, Pokemon variety, Team Rocket schemes, Meowth's puns, Ash moron moments, perceived smell of the episode, flavor of the featured Pokemon if it were cooked, the jelly donut effect, silly Pikachu moments, sweet sentences, character of the day, repetition, originality, Team Rocket motto, not how the game works, power of friendship, episode title, Pokemon cries, subversion immersion, Psyduck, world's worst detective, whatever will constitute giving this episode a 10, attack of the clones, horny Brock moments, exasperation station, swamp ash, misty sick burns, sunset boulevard, unnamed other Pokemon category, rotations per episode, and Black Parade enthusiasts. So let's draw our first category, shall we?
Yes, let's do it. What do we got?
Now, the unnamed other Pokemon category would be great for this episode, but the first one is the power of friendship.
Ooh, well, Togepi and Sentret are friends. This causes the whole thing.
Exactly. That's
Are
good.
Team Rocket bonded? Not really. Is the gang bonded? I mean, they're trying to get Togepi back and then Pikachu back. There is some good teamwork between Team Rocket and the gang later in the episode.
Barely. Team Rocket doesn't do shit. They ride on Onix, and that's it.
Well, I was thinking, in terms of the plan at the end.
Yeah,
but they
the
also
whole thing,
get themselves blown up.
Yeah, the whole thing is based around a new blossoming friendship between Togepi and Sentret, and it's super cute.
It's sort of a subversion of the power of friendship. Because usually I think of power of friendship to solve something, and here it creates the dilemma.
That's
but it's
true.
still good. It's still good.
Yeah. It's not as like the day isn't saved by the power of friendship, so it's not going to be as high. I'm gonna go
explicit power of friendship.
Yeah,
moment.
I'm gonna go 7.2.
Okay, a little lower to me. I've read a lot of shonen, so I'm really into that power of friendship moment. I'm gonna go 6.
Flat 6.
Flat
so that is a 6.6 for power of friendship. Category 2 will be the soundtrack.
Well, I mean, there is that one new track, and that went pretty hard.
It did.
And I do think that is how we should look at soundtrack. It's like, if there is like a new song or something, that's gonna get a lot of a purpose. And
give it some good points.
It definitely hit me well, so I would go like an 8.
8?
Yeah.
I would go high like that if there were like multiple songs. Like if they threw in the electric guitar gym theme with the wow bit, that would pop it up to that. I'm gonna say it's still up there. I'm gonna go 6.7.
That's fair. Yeah. I was
So that
really
is
just ranking the one song on its own. But yeah, I get it. I get it.
So that is a 7.35 for that overall. 6.975 for Tanks a Lot.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not bad. Let's move on to episode 136. Charizard's Burning Ambitions.
This episode's wild. Very fun, over the top, kind of tense. So the gang's on the road. They're tired. Ash wishes he had as many badges as blisters.
Misty says you can't expect to win badges if all your battles are against Team Rocket. They wouldn't give out badges for beating those losers. Team Rocket agrees.
They're tired of fighting Team Rocket. Team Rocket, watching, is tired of fighting them as well. And really, they're tired of fighting the same Pokemon, right? The twerps have so many Pokemon. James counts 12. Team Rocket only has a fraction, but they're mostly afraid of Charizard. Ooh.
Is 12 right? There's Pikachu. At this point, Pikachu, Chikorita, Heracross, Charizard are in Ash's party. I think it's only the Bulbasaur and Squirtle. So yeah, he's got 6. Misty has Staryu, Psyduck, Poliwag, Goldeen. That's 10. And Brock has Vulpix, Zubat, Onix, and Geodude.
Oh, so they got more.
So there's 14 total.
Well, maybe James only thought at 12.
James even counted Snorlax, who is not on Ash's team right now.
Oh, there you go.
But Team Rocket only has 4, and Meowth, who barely counts as a Pokemon. But yeah, they're terrified of Charizard. They hate that thing. It's impossible to fight.
It's a dragon.
And yeah, that's not technically a dragon. But Ash remarks, he's like, I can beat other people. It's fine. I got Charizard. He makes things really easy. And Misty and Brock are like, isn't that a little unfair?
When they go and get tough, the tough get Charizard.
But I mean, like, any rock type will destroy Charizard. So.
One of those moments where we conveniently forget that types exist.
Exactly.
But yeah, they're wondering if Ash relies on Charizard too much, right? He's a little too OP, and Team Rocket is echoing this idea from a distance. They're like, yeah.
Unfair! No fair! No fair! No fair! And they're like, who, what was that? I heard something. And then some pretty girl with green hair calls them from above a cliff or something, and Brock is like, oh my god, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life, blah, 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 as he does to every woman. And they talk a bunch about the echo in the canyon. They're like, I could have sworn I heard 3 people. Okay.
Yeah, all right. She's caught up about the echo, trying to ignore Brock's simping. And this is where she teaches him they are in the Charicific National Reserve. No, Charicific Natural Reserve. There you go.
Charicific Valley, which is a preserve for Charizard.
Reserve.
But she calls for the Charizard. She calls for the Charizard, and they all let out like a big flamethrower. And we go back to Team Rocket, and they're like, what was that? And James goes, that sounded like a sound.
I didn't catch that. That's a great line.
It sounded like some kind of sound. Thank you, James.
Perfect.
So this is Liza, I think she pronounced it. She's a Charizard trainer, and she's like, you're a Charizard trainer too, right? I can smell it a mile away. I can smell your Charizard.
I can smell your Charizard, Ash. You smell like Charizard.
You smell like
Imagine saying that to someone. Hey, you smell like Charizard. How do you take it?
I bought the new Armani cologne the other day, so thank you.
Charizard. Flamethrower.
For the man in your life. Charizard.
For the fire that won't stop burning on your tail? Where's this going?
In your heart.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh.
But she heard about a Charizard beating the Violet City gym leader, and she was like, oh my god, I have to fight this thing. I have to see it.
She's a Charizard enthusiast.
Exactly. And she calls in her own Charizard, Charla, who we know is a girl Charizard because she wears a bow.
Do we know that? Do they say it's a she? Yeah.
They never say. I don't think they ever say she. They always say it.
Okay. So no, we don't know. It could just like the pink bow. How dare you assume, Kellan?
However, actually, you know what? It might be like a Japanese
I feel like
thing.
They did say
gender female, according to Wikipedia or Bulbapedia, rather.
Yeah.
So they may have said she.
Wikipedia would have an entry on Charla.
But speaking of, Charizard in the Japanese version is confirmed as male in this episode by Team Rocket.
Okay.
So just a fun fact for you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, she calls in Charla. Brock and Misty can hop in the balloon in the back with the groceries to go to the Charicific Valley. She's invited them all. And Ash is like, what? There's no room for me. And she's like, well, you have a Charizard. Fly on it. It's what I've been fucking saying for 2 months.
On your Charizard, Ash?
I've been saying this since the beginning.
I mean, yeah, it would be a good mode of transportation.
But Ash is like, I've never ridden on my Charizard before. Liar. You've done it twice.
Okay, which episode?
Once in Attack of the Prehistoric Pokemon, the Aerodactyl episode, when he evolves. But they kind of fall asleep because of Jigglypuff, so they may not remember it, whatever. And then in Charizard Chills, when Charizard begins to respect him for once. And they go chasing after Team Rocket in the tunnel, and it's really cool.
Right. So he has. Ooh.
So
I mean, that one definitely. Gotta remember that one.
Exactly. Ash. Ugh.
Now, so Ash is asking Charizard for a ride, but he's like, nah, I'm good.
And Charizard, or Lisa taunts him. He's like, is Ash too heavy for you, Charizard? Huh? You're a little guy. You're just a little Charizard guy, huh? Little baby Charizard. And Charizard's like, fuck you. And goes to take off with Ash, accidentally leaves him behind.
And Charizard is like, fuck you, is basically the theme of this episode from here on.
But now Ash is on Charizard, but man, he is not able to fly well with Ash on his back, even though he's done it before. To be fair, I'll say this. To be fair to Charizard, the last time we saw Ash riding on Charizard was in the Orange Islands, right? Brock wasn't around. Brock's cooking is noted to be very good. So from that point to now, Ash may have put on a few.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Charizard is kind of out of shape. I see.
Maybe both.
Ash is plumping up. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little heavy. But the faces Charizard is making are hilarious.
Wonderful.
Like his eyes are popping out of his head.
Yeah. So they're on the balloon. And Misty and Brock are on the balloon in the balloon basket, and she's trying to tell Lisa that her Charizard is really cool.
There's like car phone that goes like from the basket to Lisa.
Lisa can't hear with all the noise around her, so she calls the rotary phone in the balloon basket.
Right.
Why do you have a landline in this thing?
Well, it's like a car phone. I don't know.
Guess that was funny. A thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, the olden days. So Misty questions if all of the Charizard do this, but no, the rest of the Charizard in the valley are all wild. Charla's a special one. The other ones don't see humans often. Lisa protects them from poachers, and Misty's like, oh, you don't think we're poachers, do you? You're not arresting us. Oh my god.
Do I look like a Jenny?
No. Actively not, no. So
they're the only people who can arrest in this world.
Yeah.
Look exactly like Jenny.
Yeah, citizens' arrests don't count. You have to look exactly like a Jenny. Yeah. But finally, Charizard's gotten the hang of carrying Ash, it would seem. They're flying through the air. It's cool. And then he stops and falls into a valley. Is he just tired, I guess?
Yeah, he's running out of steam. Yeah. But it kind of is like he freezes.
Yeah. Very cartoonish.
Yeah.
Very Roadrunner.
So now they're going through the trees in a ravine, and there's more of these hilarious faces, eyes popping out of his head, Ash is screaming. It's wild.
He's hopping along the stones in a river. It's
right.
Great. Meanwhile, Team Rocket sliding down a big hill into the valley. Their plan is to catch a Charizard.
They're gonna steal them some Charizard.
Yeah. Back to Lisa and Charla. They've arrived at the Charicific Valley, and we get told it's an ancient place where Charizard have lived in peace for thousands of years, and they train together and are the greatest kind of Charizard around because they train with each other. I don't know.
Yeah, it's called natural training, where basically a bunch of Charizard fighting each other becomes super strong. So all the Charizard here are huge and yoked, and they're super tough. And the valley itself looks cool. There's all of these stone statues of Charizards along it. Wonder who carved those. That's very interesting. And then during this description, we get these beautiful stills, these still portraits of Charizards fighting. They kind of scroll by.
Mm-hmm.
They're they're really nice. They're really nice. They're not. I guess they wouldn't technically count as animation, but they look great.
They do. Yeah.
And I like this line from Brock here. I notice is a sweet sentence. The same Pokemon with the same goal, all working together, striving for perfection, straining and training to be the best they can be.
It is good. Very poignant. Thank you, Brock.
Yeah.
She talks about how these Pokemon are naturally trained against each other. So are there some people in this universe that think that being trained by a human is like a performance-enhancing drug? Do you think?
I don't know if it's like that, but it does kind of feel like there's sort of like a Western medicine versus natural medicine sort of thing going on here. I only give birth in my tub. the way the Lord intended, you know?
Most people are like, give me the drugs, please.
Most people are like, oh, the hospital seems safer.
Yeah. Speaking of performance-enhancing drugs, though, we joked around a lot last week about the idea of a steroids Olympics. Like, let's see what the human body can really fucking do. Loyal listener, Tristan, left a comment on that episode. Apparently, some Australian billionaire is doing that.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, now that's becoming a real thing. I was joking.
It was so absurd we thought it would be sarcastic.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think he got the idea from us, though, thankfully. So we can't be
some Australian billionaire and listener to the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We can't be harassed about that. Don't take it up with us, people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so finally, Charizard and Ash come running into the valley on the horizon, and Charizard is fucking exhausted. And Ash starts just losing his mind for a while.
Right.
He's like, just because we didn't fly doesn't mean our Charizard can't get here. I mean, we can do things our own way. Like a baby. Charizard boasts about it.
He is losing his mind. Yeah. Now, Lisa explains that the Charizard here are on the next level. So Ash is just caught up in that. He wants to challenge Lisa to some kind of battle. And she's like, well, you can't challenge Charla because she's not wild. I think she just means this isn't the Charizards I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real badass ones. She opens the door and boom, these Charizard are huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she tells us in Meanie's training, and Ash is like, big comments like that burn me up. Charizard flames his ass by accident.
Yeah.
It was great. And so he like puts his ass out in the water and then comes back up the stairs and she's like, your Charizard could use some training. And Ash literally goes, wah!
Wah.
Baby. Then he yells, before they open the door, then he yells, then we'll battle any Charizard you want. Any Charizard in the whole valley. Bring him on. He's losing his goddamn mind.
He's going nuts.
So, yeah, she opens it up. These Charizard are huge, even though according to the Dex, Charizard is 5'7".
Yeah, but these Charizard are 6 feet.
Yeah.
Ash's Charizard is 5'11". These are 6 feet.
Say.
One of them has like an eye scar.
Yeah.
Like they're just supposed to be like the super tough.
Ash's Charizard puts 6 foot in his Tinder bio, right. And the other ones don't put their height because they're actually 6'4". So
yeah, Charla's so disappointed.
Yeah. So yeah, the scar eye one was cool, but Lisa's like, okay, you can fight the smallest one over there, and the smallest one is still like 2 feet bigger than Charizard is.
Yeah.
And so Charizard, maybe if he beats this guy, can maybe make it into the valley and prove his mettle. So he sneaks up on the Charizard, hits it with some fire, but this Charizard doesn't appreciate sneak attacks and roasts our Charizard real hard. We got some dark roast here going on.
We get a cartoon face again. Charizard's just making all these like shocked Looney Tunes faces.
Great.
The whole
He's
time.
very expressive in this episode.
Yeah, it's good.
But Charizard's still moving. He still wants to fight. Maybe he can handle that one over there. But this one is real big. It's real big, but he's the gentlest in the valley.
Oh, so calm.
And so Charizard goes up to him, flamethrowers, and it does. Fuck all. And so the other one turns around, and Ash is like, see, he's giving up. He's walking away. We win. And that Charizard slams Charizard into a rock wall with his tail very hard.
Very, very hard. Hits wall, falls down. So Ash's Charizard is weaker than these Charizards. But
Just
Charizard is so bent up here, Ash's Charizard, so he's just blasting in the air, like so hot-headed.
Mm-hmm.
Picking fights, getting beat up.
To a new, really cool music track with an electric guitar.
Like a twangy guitar thing, yeah.
Yeah, it gives very, like, oh, we're getting real fucked up kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Like, this is not good. So he gets knocked out of the valley by one of them, and then they close the doors on him. He's not worthy of the Charicific Valley.
This did kind of feel like you're causing so much trouble in this bar, trying to fight everyone that the bouncers like throw him out.
Exactly. But this valley, I think, is open air. He could just like fly over the door.
Yeah.
If he really wants in.
It's what the door represents.
That's true. He's banging on that door, though. He really wants in. Meanwhile, Team Rocket are watching in, and they're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What are the chances of us stealing one of these Charizard that beat the Charizard that always beats us.
Not
Not
very
gonna
good. I do like
Very
that
bad.
line.
So let's try the secret weapon out, and we look over, and there's a giant bug catcher mech. What? Why is it a bug catcher?
It's so ugly,
I
too.
don't
It's like
get
a
this one at all.
Playmobil kind of thing.
Yeah.
Playmobil looking asshole.
So the gate opens up again. Lisa tells them to just go. Not worth it. Just leave.
Yeah, Charizard is rejected.
Makes Jessie very upset. She doesn't like that, being told that you're not good enough. Charizard still wants to battle. Lisa finally allows him to fight Charla, who grabs him by the claw and hurls him into the water in one fell swoop.
Putting out his tail fire and killing him.
Yeah, and that's it.
No,
Charizard.
the tail fire goes underwater, but it's fine. I guess it's just, I don't know how that works.
I think Bulbapedia points this out as like the flame is totally submerged in the water, but the flame is unharmed. Like that, when it comes to the fact that Charizard's flame tail is his life force, I don't think water can realistically just put it out. Otherwise,
yeah, I think it's a little bit different. Yeah.
Why aren't we aiming for the tail of a Charizard all the time?
Yeah,
You know?
I think that it's more like the tail, the flame on the tail represents its life
And
force
overall
and not,
health,
It
yeah.
doesn't give its life force. It's like causal in the other direction.
Exactly.
It's bright because of his health, not it's causing his health.
Mm-hmm. It's a gauge.
Yeah,
If
it's
only
a gauge.
we all had
yeah.
If only we all had a gauge like that. It'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that
Be
would be
convenient.
good. A nice
Yeah.
little flame.
Yeah.
Of course, we would be horribly stereotyped by them.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that little flame.
Ah, useless. Why would I hire you? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Wait. Are Charizard flames RCVs? That's
No, I'm just saying, if your flame is really low, why would I take that risk and hire you if you're just gonna like be sick all the time? You know?
But I gotta get it bigger somehow.
You gotta pull yourself up by the bootstraps, people.
Boomer
So-
Kellan.
So she opens the door, she throws him into the water, and she's like, "You'll never be a good Charizard if you can't accept your own limitations. Stay there and think about what you've done.
Mhm.
Think about how to improve yourself." So he's standing in the
He
water. They
takes
close
that
the door.
very literally.
Yeah. They close the door on him. Charizard roars again, makes Team Rocket cry. James is like, "I can imagine how it feels to be utterly rejected."
Oh.
To which Meowth says, "You would just don't have to imagine." Got him.
Got him. Sick bird meow. That is a
And then
good one.
And then they beat him up, and I really liked this shot because it was really fast. Like, it was a hard cut. They beat him
It
up for
was
like half a
fast.
second, and then it
Yeah.
just cuts to the next scene, which I thought was very funny.
It cut really quickly. Yeah. I
Just
barely
the
even
implication that they're gonna keep doing that for a while.
noticed it. Like off screen.
Yeah.
Like, but the kids can't see.
Yeah, we'll lose our G rating.
Yeah.
Shit.
So
So,
it cuts ahead. It is now night, and Charizard is still sitting in the water, contemplating, thinking about what's going on. He will not move. Ash tries to reassure him, "You're good enough for me," but Charizard wants to be stronger.
Meowth understands him, though. Jesse and
Uh-huh.
James are like, "If only we could understand what he's saying." And Meowth's like, I can do it. I can translate.
Right.
He's saying, "I want to be stronger. I want to be the best I can be. And you know what, Charizard? I feel the same way. I always have.
Losers gotta stick together.
Losers gotta stick together." So Team Rocket are rooting for him. The gang has fallen asleep. Charizard is starting to doze off, but Team Rocket are hurling pebbles at him to keep his
to
flame
keep
up
him awake. And why aren't they falling asleep?
because they're just so motivated.
Yeah, they're so into this. This really speaks to them.
There's some inspiring music
Lisa
playing
and
in the
Charla
background.
take a little peek through the door. They're actually impressed. They're seeing what's going on.
Mhm. And in the morning, Charizard is still in his spot.
Hmm.
And over the horizon, we hear the Team Rocket music, and in comes the giant bug catcher mech. Saying net.
Yeah.
Mech.
Still looks as stupid as it did yesterday.
Yeah. And we get inside, we get the villain monologue. They're gonna look like they're trying to steal the Charizard, but really all we're doing is giving Charizard a chance to save the day and prove himself to these other Charizards. So we wanna
It kinda goes
get beaten
back-
up.
Kind of goes back to the Blissey episode. That was one of the times where they actually want to blast off to prove some kind of point, to make the Pokemon look good.
Yeah, and so they're starting to bang against the door, which makes the mech just like pelvic thrust itself into the door.
Looks
which was
so
something.
dumb.
This is the weirdest mech they've ever had.
It really is.
Like, all the other ones have had at least some like contextual relevance. This is nothing. Why is it a bug catcher?
I don't know. Well, they're going to catch Charizards. But I mean, they could have used it on any episode.
Yeah.
Especially like, a bug-themed episode.
That would have made a lot more sense.
I think it's funny just how stupid it looks.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
in contrast to how cool everything else in this episode looks, like it sticks out like a sore thumb because the Charicific Valley looks incredible, right? It's these big statues, Charizards everywhere, flames and water, and then this stupid Playmobil looking ass, bug catcher looking ass mech. What the heck?
What's our next robot gonna look like? A child.
Yeah.
Okay.
With limited features.
Yeah. Pelvic thrust.
Oh
Does it do the time warp? So they're banging against the door. Charizard lands in front of it, blows it up. They're like, yes, you did it. You're gonna make us go blasting off again. Boom, they go blasting off again. The doors open up. Lisa invites him to train with them. And so Ash asks what we're thinking. He's like, now it's okay because it beat them? And Lisa's like, no, anybody could beat those three.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But it's proven that he wants to be great. And that's enough, apparently.
Right, it's about the conviction.
And so then Ash gets, like, really sad and turns and just tells Charizard, without looking him in the eye, he's like, then maybe you should just stay here. Stay if you want to. I can get along just fine if I want to.
Who wants a weak Charizard anyways? What a
So
heartbreaking
stay here. I guess this is goodbye. You've got a lot of things to learn, so get started. They're waiting for you. He points into the valley, and Charizard's like, I see what you're doing. Respect, man.
Respect.
And so, maybe I'll see you around sometime. Goodbye, old friend.
I hope we do see him around sometime. I hope this isn't a Pidgeot.
And he runs off. Pikachu looks back at Charizard, and they give each other thumbs up. It was very cool. Very cute.
That is very cool. And then we get this beautiful painting shot of Ash running in sadness.
I don't want to leave you,
back.
but I know you have to stay. Train hard, Charizard. We'll meet again someday. Goodbye, old friend. Don't forget me. And Charizard lets out one last flamethrower as we get the really nice watercolor freeze frame, and the narrator says, afraid he may change his mind. Ash knows he can't look back, and so he keeps on running. Finn.
Oh, Finn.
That's the episode, which is a very different kind of line than we normally get from the narrator.
Very different ending, yeah.
It's normally like, well, with new friends and new adventures looking forward, what will our heroes adventure next in our adventure into the next adventure of Johto?
That was a great, impression of, an AI trained on the narrator.
But no, this one's like, Ash is depressed. He can't look at Charizard anymore. He runs, and he doesn't stop.
Life fucking sucks. See you next week.
Holy shit. Yeah, basically. Oh, book me.
All right. So, literary trope here. The trope from tvtropes.com, the fantastic nature reserve. So, it's this idea of a nature reserve, quote unquote,
really?
but that's inherently fantastical, right? And I think even within the context of Pokemon, the Charicific Valley feels that way because this isn't sort of a normal setting. I mean, we've seen the Safari Zone, right? So that would actually be one of the references here to the Safari Zone. But here, it being Charizards, something very strong, something with a very mythical feel to it, takes it to that next fantastical level. So what's fun is there's actually a couple real life examples here. In Iceland, there's areas that are marked as being elf territory, where the mythological elves are known to realm. And there's this one place with a bunch of volcanic rock formations that they say these certain, I don't remember what they are. I guess they're elves, but they kind of look more like dwarves where they supposedly live. And they actually have that marked. So it's the fantastical nature reserves in Iceland. There's some areas in Okinawa in Japan that are known as these are where ghosts or spirits live, right? So it's sort of a fantastically reserved place. Now, going back to more nonsensical stuff, in Doctor Who novels, there is actually a zoo in the TARDIS, which has that Fantastic Beast kind of feel, where collecting misfit animals from around the galaxy, time and space in the TARDIS kind of is a good fit. Of course, Jurassic Park would kind of fall into this. It's a little bit different because,
Oh.
of it being a more of a nefarious twist on that and about capitalism and should we not for science, that sort
I
of
was
thing.
gonna make a Jurassic Park joke and I forgot to. Damn it.
Okay, what was your joke?
As they were flying into the Charicific Valley, they do like the slow zoom in on it, like revealing it, and I was gonna be like, and then Lisa says, "Welcome to Jurassic Park."
Do do do
Do,
do
do,
do
do, 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 do.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I reminded you. There's also Camp Half-Blood in Percy Jackson stories. And then finally, here's one for you, Kellan. In Mario Kart 64,
Hell yeah.
Yoshi's Valley appears to be
All right.
a fantastical nature reserve for the Yoshis.
Yeah, we love it. Yoshi Valley, great course.
And there we are. So we got to rank this baby, Kellan.
Yes.
We got to rank this Charizard
Before we do that, I had one more comment from Alex's email I just wanted to note, who says, we should keep a running tally of the Pokemon that Ash leaves, releases, or trades, which to that I say, don't worry, we will for sure. We ain't gonna forget them.
What are we at, though?
Primeape, Butterfree, Pidgeot, Charizard. Is that all of them so far?
I guess so.
I think so. But I mean, technically, Primeape and Charizard
would you count
are
Lapras?
Yes, Lapras too. Technically, Charizard and Primeape are in training. They are still under Ash's ownership, but they are not.
I'm hoping Charizard comes back. I don't think Primeape will come back, but who knows? We'll see.
Do you want me to tell you if Charizard comes back or not?
No.
Okay.
No. Not yet. Maybe
not yet. Okay. But yeah, I think that's it for so far. But this also kicks off kind of a pretty rapid amount of team changes in the Johto Journeys. There's a lot of them in this season.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
Strap in and don't get attached to anybody because they might go away.
I love getting attached.
Well,
okay,
you can get attached
fine.
to Pikachu. So I'll tell you that much.
Ash is like to Pikachu. I'll be back for you someday, buddy. Oh, that would be weird.
Pikachu saw what he did to Pidgeot. He's not trusting that.
No.
All right, let's rank it. Let's rank this one. Let's get out of here.
I was thinking if Charizard doesn't come back, who am I going to have to write a murder story about next? Yeah, okay, let's rank it. 4 points.
Right. First category will be the Jelly Donut Effect.
Okay, so this is about funny translations. Now, we will have
funny
to
and
go
interesting.
to our friend
Bulbapedia. Now, there are quite a few for this episode. A lot of them are dialogue-based. There's a shot of Charizard getting hit close up that got cut. Apparently, Charla being evolved from a Charmander was not present in the original Japanese dialogue. To which I say, what the fuck else would it evolve from?
Yes, very important information. We were assuming he was evolved from a Pidgey.
There's a lot of like Team Rocket ones. There's a lot of popularity jokes about Pikachu and Charizard, and that's why they can't beat them.
Ah, that's kind of fun, yeah.
Yeah. James's count is different. That's really nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lisa's are kind of different too. There's not a thing about Charizard living there in peace for thousands of years. This is the Charizard, the valley. The Charizard there are seen as guardian deities of the area, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Lisa tells Ash she can't be responsible for what happens if Charizard continues to fight. While in the dub, she says she understands Ash's Pokemon feel, but it's really no use to continue like that. That's not very much of anything.
Oh, for the dub, they added in a line where James says about the mech, he says, it looked different online. And that wasn't in the original Japanese, so they put Amazon into this, into the Western version.
One of the bigger ones, I
into
think,
the
though,
English dub, I mean.
Lisa tells Charizard that he'll never be good if he acts tough and doesn't respect his own limitations. But in the Japanese, she tells Ash that Charizard will be okay as long as the flame doesn't go out, which is why there's a lot of close-ups on his tail throughout the next couple scenes.
Oh, okay.
So, nothing as big as... I love these jelly donuts. Jelly donuts are my favorite.
This is like quantity over quality.
But there's a couple... There's a couple
interesting ones. I would like to pump up a little bit this idea of these jokes about their popularity being in the Japanese one, because in a lot of manga and anime, while something's running, they'll do these popularity polls where people like vote on their favorite characters, and it'll like one issue or one chapter to like show their results, like who's Luffy's everybody's favorite, followed by Roronoa Zoro, like that kind of thing. So, I mean, that feels like, since that's a pretty common thing to do for the Japanese audience, that those comments make more sense there, I guess.
Yeah, they've done that somewhat recently too.
Oh.
Like by somewhat recently, maybe like 10 years ago or something.
Well,
But
relatively recently, because
we're-
I don't remember them doing that
Yeah.
like back in the day. So,
remind me of your black playthrough. Did you use the fire monkey?
yeah, first.
Yes, you
So you
did.
told me not to.
Simisir, your fire monkey, I believe got last place in that
What?
popularity contest.
Why? He's cool.
He's dumb looking.
Oh, okay.
No one likes
sorry.
Simisir.
Wow. I thought he was
Literally.
cool. Okay. Wow, today I learned
So that's nothing huge, but some good ones. It's
some
better than-
interesting ones. Yeah.
It's better than we've pulled
yeah.
at least a few times. I'm gonna go just 5. Middle of the road.
I'm gonna go 6.5.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. And
That's-
it's been a while since we've had a good jelly donut.
Yeah, there will be. I'm pretty sure there are some
Now there will
some
be,
good
yeah.
ones still to come. Second category will be the exasperation station.
Mhm. So this is stuff like falling over or sweat drops. So I mean, Charizard's faces are fucking hilarious.
Very good.
and those need
Yes.
to count, right?
Yeah, I never noted any of them falling over. I don't think that happens in this episode. But I'd also count Ash's tantrums that he has.
His tantrums are very funny.
They are very over the
Um,
top.
Yeah, all the shocked faces, all of the eyes popping out. I'm just checking to see if I have any
Sweat drops?
obvious sweat drops.
I don't remember any
don't
obvious ones.
Think so. There was in the previous episode.
hmm
Yeah, I didn't really get any sweat drops, but I think the Charizard faces go pretty hard here.
Yeah, Charizard alone combined with Ash, that's like 8. I'm going 8.
It's an 8 for me as well. That's exactly
Ooh,
what it's
flat 8.
Yeah.
So that's 8 for that. Overall, 6.875. And Tanks a Lot was 6.975.
So we have a common territory
Yeah.
this week
10th of a
of
point
the
off.
score. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it for this week.
All right. Well, Kellan, I am dying to find out what episodes are coming up next week because I cannot extrapolate for myself.
Well, you know what? We got a good old triple coming up next week.
Get out, really?
Yep.
Man, it's been a
We
while
gotta-
since we've had a triple.
We got a triple coming up to set up for a triple of a 3-episode arc.
Okay.
But this is kind of an arc in itself because it's 3 episodes based around grass type Pokemon.
Okay. The
So we'll
grass
start.
part.
Yeah, we'll start with episode 137, Grin to Win, or in Japanese, Big Panic! Kimawari Contest!
Hmm.
Followed
Love
by
Big Panic.
episode 138, Chikorita's Big Upset, or in Japanese, Chikorita is in a bad mood!
That's a good name.
And then episode 137, Foul Weather Friends, or in Japanese, Hanako Hopped! Battle on the Prairie!
Battle on the Prairie goes hard.
So 3 grass-themed episodes next week.
Okay. So
Monday,
your ass is
Monday,
grass.
Monday.
A little
And
off
on the
of
lawnmower.
420. That would have been cool, but pretty close.
Unfortunate. And 1 episode off of 69. Or no, sorry. Next week is episode 69.
There you go.
Oh my god, special episode, everybody, for 69.
Right. So too bad it wasn't the sex dungeon arc. Although I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks, unfortunately.
Oh, so close. So close.
Yeah, join us for that. The Graham Deere thing. 80 Synthwave
Okay.
by Alexi Action is our intro and outro music. There you go.
Thank
There's my
you.
contribution.
You can find us on Spotify or wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. It is on youtube.com/hydraleech. Leave a comment on the videos there. We really love the engagement. You can also reach us at tokilladeliBird@gmail.com. Also, tokilladeliBird is our Twitter handle. Kellan runs a TikTok, Hydra Leeches, where he's got Pokemon anime error analysis on there. And he also Twitches, and we are told he is trying to get back to Twitch soon. So keep an eye out.
I've been sick.
So sick.
I've been sick. But follow us on Twitter for banger tweets like me catching 450 Bellsprout on Community Day.
Wow. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about Pokemon Go. Well, how
I
does
got
that
back
work?
into it recently.
Oh, okay,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
And so
Gets
why do
me
you
out of
want
the house.
that many Bellsprout? You have a Bellsprout army?
Because I like Bellsprout. It was Community Day, so Bellsprout spawns were very heavy for 3 hours, and you could get shiny Bellsprout. And I wanted a lot of Bellsprout, and I got 4,000 candies.
How many shinies did you get?
17.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bellsprout us out of here.
Bellsprout.
Bellsprouticus,
Bellsprout.
get us out of kiss. Be the Harry Potter spell that
That was horrible.
teleports a Bellsprout away.
That was terrible. Bye, everybody.
See ya.